TCR is brought to you by Capital Farm Credit. Together, we're better. Mueller Incorporated. Metal roofs, metal buildings, ironclad guarantees. Hoheim Prairie Insurance. Texans serving Texans since 1892. Golden Chick, the original and still the best. And top Texas towns, Abilene, Hillsboro, Del Rio, Waxahachie, and San Angelo.
Just behind us are two symbols that make almost every Texan swell with patriotic pride. The American flag, and just to the left of it, and flying at equal height, I might add, the Lone Star flag.
Now you may notice that these flags are tattered and torn, which is exactly why we're here today. There is a service to properly retire the flags with the honor and respect they deserve.
And we're going to help the folks here do just that. You're invited to help too if you'll just hop in and travel with us. I'm Bob Phillips.
And I'm Kelly Phillips. And this is Texas Country Reporter.
I love my shop, and so I spend a lot of time peeling things. If something's broke, usually I can fix it. I got my own electrical, plumbing, and hardware section here in the shop. I really enjoy working my hands.
On the coldest day of the year in North Texas, we found Ken Wynn tinkering with his tools in the warmth of his household hardware store. Ken, an electrician by trade, could probably spend all day in the workshop. At least he could, if he didn't have to go on patrol.
Show us this patch right here. What is this?
That's a VIP, volunteer and patrol for Dallas Police Department.
I didn't know there was some.
Yes, sir. That's what I do. I'm also watching the neighborhood. If I see something, I report it. My cameras on my truck gets it. I put the thumb drive in and back it up and get the police department.
Almost every day, Ken patrols the streets in his community of Pleasant Grove, looking out for illegal activity. He's got his eye on just about the entire neighborhood at once, thanks to an array of cameras he installed on his truck. And while he's dedicated to keeping the streets safe, he's also keeping them clean.
I'm not getting paid to do this. I'm a volunteer, period. I'm doing this to clean up the neighborhoods. I pick up bandit signs off telephone poles. I've picked up over 80,000.
What's a bandit sign? Tell us.
That's these signs right here. Cash for the junk cars, running or not.
Ah, those things people just stick up
houses
everywhere.
for sale, tax deals, and they litter the neighborhood.
With nothing more than a pair of gloves and a couple of wastebaskets, Ken takes off on his litter mobile, riding into the biting winter wind. Tires, fenders, bumpers, you name it, Ken picks it up, as he has for the last 10 years. Why? Well, the answer is simple. If no one else will, Ken says someone's got to do it.
You know, Ken, I think everybody thinks it's somebody else's job to do what you're doing.
Yeah.
Whose job is it?
Well, it's a little bit of everybody. Just everybody, if they just pick up one little item, it'd make a difference. I'm Pleasant Grove and proud, and so I try to make it a little difference here, and put Pleasant back in the Grove, like it used to be. Don't mess with Texas. It means keeping Texas clean. I recommend anytime you go out walking, just carry a little bag with you. Excuse me, sir, you just dropped something beside and I don't want to pick it up. It don't hurt you, just reach down and pick something up. Thank you. 80% of it's recyclable.
80%?
80% recycled and 100% volunteer. Ken's put in all this time without making a dime. His payment is a honk, a wave, or a smile. Numerous civic groups have recognized him with awards, and his latest honor placed him high on a list of eco-friendly celebrities.
You know, Dak Prescott, quarterback, he got nominated #1 superhero. He had a styrofoam cup. I don't know if you saw it. I saw it live first time I seen him. He tossed it the can. He missed. He got up off the bench, walked over, picked up, thrown in the can. They nominated him superhero #1. Willie Nelson got the #3 spot because he's on Don't Mess with Texas. Guess who got the #2 spot?
Yours truly.
I got the #2 spot.
Ahead of Willie.
Ahead of Willie. I was keeping good company.
It's not every day you meet a man like Ken Wynn. He's doing something good for his community without asking anything in return. And if the world were littered with people like Ken, it would be a much better place.
You said there are some people who think you're just nuts.
They think I'm crazy for what I do. I have people come up to me, says, "You need help? I'd like to help you do what you're doing. What do you pay?" I said, "You see this here? I'm a volunteer." Shoot, you're crazy. I don't pick up trash and don't get paid for it. I said, "That's what I do." And but I don't get it 1 second of it. Every once in a while, I start saying, "Why am I doing this? Does people really care?" And by the time I get thinking that way, somebody comes up, "Mr. Wynn, I want to thank you for all you do."
You know why you're doing this, don't you?
I just have mine making a difference in the community. This is what I do. I don't make no money. I definitely don't get rich doing it, but I'm happy. That's the main thing.
It's a DVD set good enough to eat. Hop in and travel with Bob and Kelly on Texas a la carte. This 2-disc set takes you to unforgettable restaurants and hidden gems in every part of the state. From seafood to steak, burgers to baked goods, there's something on the menu for everyone. Texas a la carte, available now at TexasCountryReporter.com.
I'm Ricky Franson, and I run a cow-calf operation. It's a tough business, but it's a good business to raise a family. There's nothing better. About 17, 18 years ago, I started leasing this place from the owners and been running cattle on it ever since, and they started selling part of it off and come to the last piece, and I ended up with it. Been with Capital Farm Credit since 2012. Together we are better, and it's a good feeling to know that someone's got your back.
You'll find Texas history and heritage in Hillsboro. Classic cars, ancient fossils, and the heroes of the Lone Star State await. Tour the courthouse and explore all of our museums. Visit Hillsboro today.
Was that 122 that had that suspicious person with that brown pickup?
As a child, I can remember being 9, 10, 11 years old, and I would see those Dallas police cars come through the neighborhood once in a while, and maybe they were answering a call down the street, and I couldn't wait to run up the side of that car and look in, and I could hear the radio chatter and what have you.
Badges, sirens, squad cars. For most of us, these sights and sounds signal to stay out of the way. But for Doug Hutchison, they were the inspiration for a more than 40-year career.
And I recognized that early on. That's what I really wanted to do. I wanted to, as cliche as it sounded, I wanted to help people.
Doug figured out his calling to be a police officer early in life, but these days he's got a new partner in his car. After retiring from the force, his wife Carol is helping Doug transform his career from officer to author.
Talk to me about the book. behind the badge. How did that whole idea come to be?
After Doug retired from law enforcement, we wanted to do something together. So he said we could travel all over Texas, which we love doing anyway, and we can photograph these officers and make these cool portraits, you know, in all these different areas.
You ready, Carol? Let's go.
Helping people, Doug and Carol say, is what the job is all about. Well, it seems these days that side of law enforcement is often cast aside, with more negative than positive shown on the news. That's where the Hutchisons came up with their idea, to travel the back roads of Texas, telling the stories from the other side of the spectrum, of the officers that make a difference every day in their communities.
Kind of the reason we wanted to do this book was to show people just how good and how honest and hardworking, and they're just people. And police officers are just like you and I. I mean, they're just people.
Everyday people.
Yeah.
Trying to do something positive.
Yeah.
Everyday people like Christy Martinez, who survived the 1999 Wedgwood Baptist Church shooting that claimed the lives of 7 people.
In September of 1999, a friend invited her to a concert at Wedgwood Baptist Church in Fort Worth. Not long after the show began, a gunman ran inside the church and began shooting, ultimately killing 7 people.
After that terrifying day, she realized she wanted to be just like the police officer that came to her rescue.
He was just a sign to me of rescue, of being saved from this very chaotic, crazy, traumatic event. So that's kind of what laid some of the groundwork for me going to law enforcement.
Okay, Christy, smile.
Behind the Texas Badge features stories from more than 100 officers, but this book honors everyone who has ever put on a uniform. Thanks to Carol's writing and photography and Doug's career in law enforcement, the tales that would hide in the shadows of the police stations have now come to light, and Doug couldn't be more proud.
I'm so proud of the men and women that I worked with over the decades. Police officers, highway patrol troopers, deputies, constables, Texas Rangers, agents from various state and federal agencies, railroad police, game wardens, and the special rangers of the Texas and Southwestern Cattle Raisers Association. I feel so honored and blessed to have had the privilege to hold up my right hand and take the same oath that we all took. We can all look different with our various uniforms, but at the end of the day, we were called to be the men and women behind the Texas Badge.
A fitting tribute to some real heroes.
Now, here are some things I think you're going to want to know.
A quick word to the wise. Last year at the TCR Festival in Waxahachie, we ran out of booth space for vendors and had a waiting list.
To avoid this happening to you, get your application in now. Go to TexasCountryReporter.com. And time's running out to get your application in to this year's Mueller's Helping Hand.
If your nonprofit needs a new building, up to 4,000 square feet, then go to TexasCountryReporter.com and click on Helping Hand for all the details.
Coming up next, what do you do with a flag that's tattered and torn?
Well, it's a lot more complicated than you'd think, but well worth the effort. Stay with us.
Here's a little trick. Jump in the car and head to Golden Chick. When it's gotta be great and it's gotta be quick, you gotta get your tenders at Golden Chick. Golden Chick, for the best chicken, you know what to do. Golden Chick, sides and rolls made fresh for you. Golden Chick, just one bite and you'll forget the rest. The original and still the best. Golden Chick.
They are images known the world over. A series of stripes next to one star, or maybe dozens, all blowing in the breeze. With just a few colors and shapes, flags tell everyone who you are. The American and Texas versions fly high all over our state every day. And if you're in Dallas, there is one place in particular where you can go to get your flag fix. I'm looking for a great big Texas flag. What is the flag store? What goes on here?
If you need a flag, a Texas flag, a Spanish flag, an international flag, a state flag, we can take care of you. If the Canadian consulate, if they're having a diplomat come over, or the Irish ambassador is coming to visit, you need an Irish flag, you can come get it. If you want toothpick flags or of Switzerland or Sweden or whoever else, we've got them.
You're eat up with flags.
We're eat up with flags. You name it, we got it.
The flag store was opened in 1930 by J. Hugh Campbell, known as the Flag Man of Dallas. Now it's Denise Lucas and her daughter Sabrina who run this one-stop shop for all your patriotic needs. From big flags to small, brackets to poles, they've got it all. But out of everything they sell, one flag in particular is the lone star of the show. Talk to me about the Texas flag. That's a special situation, isn't it?
We're crazy about our flag. It's just,
yes, we are.
There's no comparison to the way Texans feel about their flags. If you took all the state flag sales and took Texas over here and put all the other 49 states here, Texas beats them every year.
All of them together?
All of them together.
There's a point of pride there, isn't there?
And it really is. I mean, you go out of state, you go out of the country, you come home and you want to kiss the ground when you arrive because you're back home and the skies are blue. Nothing's as great as the blue sky in Texas. We're bigger, we're better, we love it, we want to tell everybody about it.
That love for Texas, or for the USA, drives many of Denise's sales, but it also leads some customers to an uncomfortable moment when their old flags have worn out, but the meaning behind them has not. Instead of throwing them away, Denise says just bring them to her for a more dignified goodbye.
Things, flags and flag items that people give us to recycle, because all American flags are worthy of being retired. And being a Texan, we think all Texas flags are worthy of being retired properly, so we do U.S. and Texas flags. We tell everybody who comes in here, if you have old flags that need to be retired, bring them to us. We'll find a way to get them retired respectfully. And the way to do that, and I don't care, it can be plastic, it can be cloth, it can be, whatever material, bring it to us, we'll find a way to retire it.
And that's when they give their good friend Robert Saunier and the folks at the Waxahachie VFW a call, because there's a process and a method to retiring flags, and Robert says it's got to be done just right.
There's a lot of people that know you're not supposed to throw a flag away, but they don't know what to do with them. But we do this 3 times a year around here. We do it March, honor the American Legion birthday, and then we do it in June, Flag Day, and then Veterans Day. The 11th hour, the 11th day of the 11th month, armistice to World War I. To start the ceremony, we'll lower the flags that are flying right now on the poles out front. So we're going to do it ceremonially. It's just like when somebody has served their life and it's graveside service. Literally, it's graveside service for the flag.
After they lower and disassemble the first flag, it is gently placed into a pit, each color one at a time. The white for peace and honesty, the red representing bravery, strength, and valor, and the blue standing for loyalty and justice. Then these flags are finally given the send-off they deserve. Why is it so important to dispose of these flags properly?
Because it's a symbol. It's a symbol of pride, it's a symbol of your state, it's a symbol of your country, it's a symbol of all things that came before you. And someone fought and died for that flag, for you to have the benefits of what you have now, to live in a free country, to live in the best state in the Union. And that's what this flag means. We need to treat it with respect at all times.
Retiring the flag is done of an honor and respect to the flag, to show that the flag has finished its serviceable life and even when it's no longer flyable, we have an honor and respect to it.
We're still not turning our backs on that flag, even though it's withered and torn.
No, we're not turning our backs on it.
Why is all of this so important to you personally?
My dad, my granddad, 9 uncles, all served under it. It's the tradition and remembrance in honor of them. Every time we do one of these, I do it in honor of my dad.
He'd be proud of what you're doing.
I think he would be.
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. The unfortunate truth is that the real cost of freedom is never truly free. But as the rolling sea of flames wash across each flag that is retired, the air fills with the memories of those who have sacrificed so much for this country. For people like Denise and Robert, this ceremony is a way to preserve their lives and honor their legacies, one that will live on forever through the broad stripes and bright stars.
When it's waving, you catch it, driving down the street and there's that flag waving, it's hard to miss that in the air and not get a lump in your throat when you see that flag.
It's a beautiful
flying.
sight.
It is a glorious sight to see a flag flying.
You get emotional about the flag, don't you?
I do. It's important. It's a bellwether of what's going on in the world a lot of times. You can see times are good because that flag's up there. We're 50 separate and unique states, but when you hold up that flag, it's all of us.
You can find us on dusty roads and in town squares. We're in the stands on Friday nights and pews on Sunday mornings. We're with you when you plow fields, plant crops, herd cattle, and build houses. We're Hoheim, proudly protecting the heart and soul of Texas. Hoheim Prairie Insurance, Texans serving Texans since 1892.
Calling all nonprofit groups in Texas. Once again, the folks at Mueller will be giving away a brand new metal building this fall, and now is the time to apply. We've built clinics, food pantries, activity centers, and more through the Helping Hand Project, and your building could be next. For details and an application, just click on the Helping Hand logo at texascountryreporter.com. Apply today for this life-changing donation.
And we want to thank you for traveling along with us once again.
Next week, meet an Austin guy who says windows are the soul of every building, and he's in the business of saving those souls.
In the Lubbock area, we'll drop by to listen to a popular band made up of just one man.
And in Big Bend, we'll tell you the story of how a whole family pulled together to make Mama's dream come true with her very own bakery. I'm Kelly Phillips.
And I'm Bob Phillips, and this is Texas Country Reporter.
See you next time.
Promotional consideration and travel arrangements provided by Valero, the all-American gasoline, all across America. La Quinta Inns and Suites, with more than 800 hotels nationwide. Book your room at lq.com and wake up on the bright side. TCR is brought to you by Capital Farm Credit. Together, we're better. Mueller Incorporated. Metal roofs, metal buildings, ironclad guarantees. Hoheim Prairie Insurance. Texans serving Texans since 1892. Golden Chick, the original and still the best. And top Texas towns Abilene, Hillsboro, Del Rio, Waxahachie, and San Angelo.